one of them denting the soil, another caught in tree branches or cracking roofs, another splashing in the river. The final two are shot like silver bullets,
1.
ready to tear off my
Dialogue of sound and a writer. 2 characters walking in a circle, anti-clockwise and diametrically opposite. Sound. Singing along to the refrain of Flanders and Swans, the new song. I'm sound. A most sinister sound.
rap,
Writer.
where self-grown, self-strong,
Sound. Stop
she
and stop it,
shelterless,
William. We need
thoughts
to
against
talk.
thoughts in groans rhyme.
Sound. Keep singing and walking. The sinister sounding all around.
The noise is
Writer.
atrocious.
Exasperated. How am I to stop you and address you?
They've given me a room in the hospital at some
Sound.
distance from the others.
Patronizing. Writer.
I share it with a coughing woman.
It certainly is good to hear from you.
I'm not sure I can
Then
speak.
again, you are good with useless things.
Certainly I can
Words.
scream. Certainly she can cough.
You infect me with your
She
generalizations.
coughs in two-step,
call me
uneven
sound.
beats like
You're asking the wrong question here. Writer. Dithering. Are you not sound? Sound. I'm...
find a way out of this. It seems that there is no ceiling in this room.
I'm eroded by your words and I
Up there,
vanish
on
through
the vault
time.
of the sky, I see shadows that nobody
Could
projects.
you write the Spanish in,
Earnest,
instead of calling me sound?
earthless, equal,
Writer.
attunable,
Confused. What does this
faulty,
mean?
voluminous. Stupendous evening strains to be timed with that swoon of all, home of all, hearse of all night. Below I hear the rumble of an earthquake. The room is shaken by the hits of 2 deep, throaty, dissonant notes of the pendulum
This
woman.
is to lose me.
Our
Writer.
Lady of
Hopeful.
Dissonance.
The game is to keep chasing you.
Our
along
Lady
a
of
circle,
Disease.
around and around.
A lead-coloured blanket
Yourself,
creeps
you
up
ever
toward
feel
the edge
lost?
of the sky and darkens it. In restless flickers of anthracite shading, it thins down and shapes itself into a word. In capital letters, the word is listen. I think I can hear it now. Listen,
Fellow writers,
listen.
tell them to stop dismissing the absolute values of sound with difficult words.
Is it not outside the
Writer.
ear?
Beside me.
2 syllables popped out.
They will tell me.
N is in its sound enchanted.
Reported or documented.
It seems fitting at the end of listening.
We've been chasing each other.
Stuck on a
Sounding. You should not have
Listen.
called me sound. You
N.
told me the sounds in address me
Enchanted, like
with
the tale of the
incoherent
enchanted
stories
child.
and undecipherable acoustic traces. Signifies, your sense is uncertain and yet mean. Then you would have something to say.
The enchanted child
Think
went
about it.
outside in the world and was
Absolute
struck by
sound
countless wonders.
is a slogan to sell, a portal into emptiness.
She did not know how, but soon she found out she could not speak,
Writer yielding,
but had the ability to transform sounds
No
into
words,
objects and material.
before and after sound. Sound, no words.
Brave piece of thin fabric, she transformed
Your
the
words
thin
are to
muscle
be
of
before and
Italian
after sounds. Start singing again. Strips off the circle, laughing. Your shifting words of sound round and round.
The first time she heard a woodpecker drumming, the stubborn, uneven clank of footsteps as she listened to the 2-noted, clap-clapping tune of wooden clogs.
Falling,
She went on day by day,
a note like a minute
little by little,
that has to cross a century.
and subtracted and
Honor machine
transformed
on
sounds
music,
from her world
1949.
until there was nothing
String
more.
of clusters, one night only. Falling. Suddenly hitting that note again, falling. At the end, after 6.5 minutes, falling. A funereal, fitful sequence of sound bursts, a cluster, a distortion, a sound burst, a distortion, a sound burst, 43 times. I'm falling into the 5th string quartet, 1985.
In a
I'm
line.
listening.
Flip over toward elsewhere.
Friend, I'm in the shoe after the step, as it marks. Relationships between words and sounds, beginnings and breaks, as well as the prompts for these pages. of sound as a whole of harmonic frequencies,
Louis Aragon on the ephemeral.
some of which we can hear, some of which we cannot hear, some
Ephemeral.
of which we do not want to hear,
F. M.
and nonetheless constitutes a listening,
L.
a flawed trace, a mark,
Frenzy. Madness.
repetition.
Reverie.
The 42
Love.
sound units of reiterations of the same gesture, a slowly decaying cluster, we once compared to the sound of exploding asteroids, as if we knew what that sound is. Because we don't know what that sound is. Because we can imagine how that sound might be, and it doesn't really matter whether it was
All
ever
silent.
recorded
In this
or we were
silence, we
there.
perceive new disturbances.
Before this quartet, the reworking of an early
The
piece,
secret sound penetrates
the
us,
amplified piano,
extending into
hadn't written
profoundly
music.
hidden realms
we
beyond.
hadn't written music for 8 years.
Then I think writing was.
Friend, an impression of sound, into some place beyond, one last gasp, many,
Reach out into those disturbing and profoundly hidden realms.
referred to in the
Beyond those
writing,
caves, like
referred to in the writing about. It was Mashuda word. To think it's a piece, and it so happens you don't like pieces, but repetitions, long, boring passages,
from words that
just
were
going my
recalled,
way, but there is
from
no way
archival layers.
to return to the same thing, to the opening.
I don't want to explain them,
Figures,
or rearrange them.
in place of words,
I hand them over to
in
you
this
before they
collection of
expire.
poems, circles, poems with the impossibility of words, of sounds, yet sounding words nonetheless. Words, always more obscure, more
Inside her head, realising at the end that she had come across exactly nothing, and that nothing mattered. Just like the circle of empty thoughts that repeatedly hammered her teenager brain
rituals.
against books read
Around
and books
them.
remembered, and void,
I set up a scenario.
that terror that
It
void,
made me step into a past
after reading and
in
reading
the
so many
70s
books,
in southern
and
Italy.
listening.
In the dimness of my memory, I hear out of the hazy layers of my recollections, I hear a grainy, persistent breath, a fatigued, whistle breath,
Fulfillment with no proximity of
Committed.
friends or lovers.
not as a sign of life,
It was the city
it is
itself,
the last.
its cold air maybe. Rustling of tree leaves,
Fact, horror, I hear that convulsive breath,
from time,
it's coming from
and in
underworld,
this otherness she passed on.
the hidden whispering.
One evening as she walked back home,
It was my great
the
grandmother's.
setting sun against the third floor
Tonight.
window of the red brick house at the edge of the heat flashed a surface of full-on orangey red, deep and shimmering, like the inmost light shining out of a window of a long-forgotten tale by Alfred Matthews.
Repeats. Small,
What
straight
screamed?
emotions.
A window and only that window.
On my forehead with the tip of her thumb mumbles.
So for a few
I'm sure if
moments,
she really means
She seemed to be
anything,
on
I'm
board
not
with
sure
very
if she
special
really means
connection.
anything,
with
or
that
if she's
panel
just
collapse
repeating
and
a
that
gesture
reflecting light.
passed on to her, soiled and half broken,
At that
across
moment,
who knows how many generations,
red against a sky of
I'm
greenish
unsure whether to
and
laugh.
dirty pink,
at all.
veined with gold.
I'm not sure whether to laugh at all of this, or be very serious and solemn. I'm here little, I listen.
Falling from the skies, lost words and broken utterance. I have nothing more.
Please surviving in the field. Ritual, dying of spells, persisting yet changing. It all came back to me in a flash, ferocious like.